is your name?
Coleman Roach.
My name is Miss Neely.
Miss Knowles.
He's Coach Shirley.
Brentlinger, Mrs. Brentlinger.
What is anxiety to you?
Anxiety to me is one feels overwhelmed and you almost feel disabled in your ability to kind of move forward.
Well, I think anxiety is different for everybody. For me, it's I feel really disorganized and out of control, and I feel like I can't breathe. But for other people, they feel really overwhelmed and they don't really know where to go or what to do. But I think it's important to be able to identify like what it means to you and kind of how to process those feelings.
So it's kind of complicated for me because I have social anxiety and general anxiety. So it's feeling judged by everybody that you meet, no matter what, even feeling like your own family doesn't love you or that's judging you. So that's my social anxiety, and then not being able to let go of thoughts. So you think of something, you think of worst case scenario, like something terrible is going to happen to you if you do things a certain way. So just not being able to let go. So I'll think about it days and even weeks after an event or before an event. So that's basically my life.
For me personally, it comes from stress. So I just get a lot of physical symptoms. I get a lot of feelings of overwhelming and like I just don't know how to fit it all in, everything that I have to do, or I don't know how to cope with what I've got going on.
Yeah, I think about being in a space where I am overly worried, concerned, just feel a little out of control and uncomfortable, and just have everything feel like it's piling on me at once. It's not my favorite place to be, but it's something we all go through, and it's normal and natural.
How do you cope with it?
I've found in my own journey, sometimes when I struggle with anxiety, it's when I get overwhelmed with too many things to do, or I feel like there's just too much on my calendar. So the number one way I deal with it is I usually will write down a list of things and begin to prioritize them. And by prioritizing, I can kind of begin to formulate what needs to be done in the moment or in the day, and then what can maybe be pushed down for the next day.
So for me, I'm on an anti-anxiety medication. I really struggled with that when I first started taking my anxiety medication, that there was something wrong with me or that I was broken. But a lot of really supportive and amazing people in my life really showed me that my anxiety isn't something that's wrong with me, it's just a part of who I am, and my medication is a way that I deal with that. Another way that I deal with that is I really prioritize taking time for myself. I schedule it into my planner and make sure that that's a top priority for me. But I also communicate with those around me that, hey, I really just need some space, or I really need you to do this for me, to kind of help balance out that anxiety that I'm struggling with.
So I've got lots of skills. So finding things I can control. I like fidgets. They really help me kind of, because I can hold something, it's mine, I can control it. I try to, whatever I can control, I do. I'm really into my schedule. If my schedule doesn't work out, it gets broken, that's a big kind of issue for me, because that's like one of my control things is my schedule. So.
Well, I do take medication for it. That was the first thing. I battled with stress for the first time. I've never had it before. So for me, I was pretty stressed out here at work, and I knew I had to do something. So I first started with some medication, but I also I exercise 3-4 times a week. I try to eat as healthy as I can. There are certain foods that are really good for anxiety, like salmon and spinach. So I try to eat foods that I know are going to help me with that anxiety, and try to stay away from some of the foods that will contribute to it, that will bring it on.
So there are moments where I just get so overwhelmed I don't know what to do. So that's when I have to rely on my coping mechanisms, and a lot of that's my deep breathing exercises, which helps a lot in those moments just to kind of bring you back down. Along with that, exercise is always helpful. Talking to friends helps me out just to get their perspective, and just kind of remembering at those times that, okay, is this going to affect my whole life forever and ever? Probably not. So I need to put it in perspective and use the facts that go with it instead of kind of lean on my feelings, because sometimes we lean on our feelings too much, we get a little freaked out. So that's my take on anxiety, but main thing is everybody goes through it, so it's okay. Don't stress about it, even though we all do, but it's normal, and it's kind of what helps fuel us to get things accomplished.
What is an anxiety attack?
An anxiety attack to me is when one truly gets overwhelmed and they have like a panic attack is what I would call it, and you literally get locked inside of your fear and you're not able to break out of that to move forward. And the whole idea of the way we're supposed to operate is to understand that sure we have fears, but to be able to breathe through them, to kind of become more rational with how we're looking at it, and to understand maybe the fear is looking a lot bigger than it truly is. So to me, a panic attack would be when you kind of allow the fear to overwhelm you and to win, as opposed to slowing down, breathing through it, and going, I'm going to take it one step at a time, because this fear is not near as big as I think it is.
For me, an anxiety attack, I completely fall apart. I can't breathe, I cry, I hyperventilate, I crash, I fall asleep for hours and hours, and then I wake up with terrible migraines. But again, it's different for everybody, and for somebody else it may just be you can't breathe or you can't focus. But it's important to be able to like identify those things as they come on, so that you can kind of collect yourself and move forward with your day. Because for me, it's really important to, when I do have an anxiety attack, that it doesn't ruin my day and it doesn't stop me in my tracks, but that I process that and then I move forward with my day.
So for me, it's different. Most people think of it as like hyperventilating, but for me, it's like extreme like anger. I cry, I get mad. Like it's something that you don't necessarily, it's not appropriate to be mad at, or it's silly to be mad at. I actually get really mad about it. Like if my schedule just suddenly changes drastically and I was planning on doing something and it doesn't happen, then that's like a trigger for me. I could just like go into like a fit of rage. Now that I'm older, I don't like throw things or hit people anymore, but when I was younger, I've had it my whole life, so I would have tantrums basically.
For me, it's very physical. For me, I feel like my back is just on pins and needles. I can't breathe. That's the first symptom usually, is I feel like I have to take these really deep breaths and I can't catch my breath. And then my back will start to tingle. And sometimes like the skin on my chest will feel like it's really, like it's burning, like it's on fire. So it's just kind of like all over the top of my upper chest and my head. And it's really scary. Like I've learned breathing techniques. There's things that you can do to calm yourself, and I've learned those breathing techniques so it doesn't happen as often. I can calm myself a lot quicker, but it can be pretty scary at first.